Hey guys, Terry from Cosplay here. Chilling out with Luke from Zerebin Cosplay. Luke Hill is sitting there in his workshop. He is building. Actually, what he has built, I'll just tell you what he has built. His latest construction or his latest creation, which he wants to run around and show people everything, which is good. But yeah, his latest creation that he presented at the Championships of Cosplay and
Oh yeah,
won the
that looks good.
Queensland edition was a Necromancer from Diablo 3, and the detail on it was insane. It was just godly, so it
I,
was just magical to see.
and it's all inside, so it's not here.
So it's all currently inside, and but that's fine. So we, at some point, Luke will show us all the lovely little bits and pieces.
Yeah,
But
but
welcome back
first,
to the stream.
this is hilarious. The first thing I was going to say in the interview is my pizza's here in about 30 seconds.
So Luke's got pizza coming. I've got scotch going, so we're gonna have a great, great stream. So,
Oh yeah, well, yeah, yeah. I'm going to have to go to the door. Give me a couple of minutes to go get my food, and I'll be right back. Because
not
that's
a
the
problem.
professional
I'll
interview.
fill the gap by telling him all about your wonderful toys.
Okay, bye.
So, guys, Luke will be back in a sec. Now, while he's off running around doing his bits and pieces, um, we're going to have a bit of a chat about what he's actually got. And I will kill his microphone for a second while he gets his pizza going. There we go. So, anyway, Luke has an amazing design, like cosplay designer and builder, and he's got a real fine look at detail. So his craftsmanship is practically second to none as far as I'm concerned. He uses a diode laser to get a lot of his detail, but he designs all the detail himself, piece by piece by piece. And it takes him a very, very long time to make up all these graphics and bits and pieces to laser etch and to do his details. So he is meticulous when it comes to that. Now I've seen his work firsthand, and it is jaw dropping. He covers every aspect. He covers the foam work, he covers the paint work, he covers electronics, he covers special effects, prosthetics. He's pretty much an all rounder. So in my opinion, he would be in the world's best cosplay builders easily. So looking forward to seeing the new one, Rory. Me too, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing Luke's Fire Warrior that he's made or making. He's in the process of making. And originally he was just going to make the helmet, and I keep pushing him. So he's now got a chest, shoulders, and other bits and pieces. And he's going to show us all those details very, very shortly. So looks like he's got his pizza. He's on his way back in, which is good. I could have waited till he had his pizza and ate it, but I told you guys we'd be back in 5 minutes. So long enough to go and get a scotch and start the stream up. So, okay, guys, look, if you guys prefer things like YouTube or Twitch or Daily Motion, whichever your platform is, just look me up because Play Forge. So, if Twitch is your preferred medium, I do have a Twitch channel and I do stream to that Twitch channel. No one watches that Twitch channel, but that's fine. My YouTube channel is, getting bigger and bigger, which is great. But the Facebook, okay, looks like Luke's back. Hang on, there we go. We've got him back on,
Yep. Um, I have
and
returned.
he has returned. So, welcome back, Luke.
Sorry, he was meant to be here over an hour ago. So.
Oh, jeez, nice delay on the pizza.
hmm
So, all right. Well, there's
Oh,
the. Yep, there we go. You can have your shake. I'm gonna have my.
salted caramel.
Ugh. All right. So go grab a piece or two of this wonderful fire warrior that you got floating around.
Okay, well it's all
Um,
next to me. So yay.
so show me the helmet.
Oh, the first bit is next to me. It's the
Fine. Show
shoulder.
me the shoulder.
Here's the shoulder.
So as you can see, there is some seriously fine detailed work involved in this, and it's all EVA foam, like everything else we do.
There's some
But
plastic reinforcement, but yeah.
so yeah, okay, he's got some plastic reinforcement in there, but the majority of it's EVA foam, and it's really fine craftsmanship. Some of it's hand cut, some of it's laser cut, and some of it's laser etched. But as you can see, some of the massive detail Luke goes to, like you didn't even realize there was writing around there, did you guys? Because I didn't.
Mm.
And it is awesome. Um,
It
so yeah,
actually,
Luke Shroud just said, "Oh, that's amazing." And yes, dude, it is jaw dropping.
the thing
Um,
is, Terry, this actually is the Tau Creed in Tau etched around the Tau logo. Because why not?
why not? Exactly. So is anyone going to be able to read it?
Mm.
If you do find them, then they can read it. Please let them read it. Because,
No,
oh my
come on,
god.
man, back off my costume.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. One of the conversations I just recently had with Luke was about the costume and about whether or not he should do a name, change the character to be a named or a, or a better than normal fire warrior. So can he be a lieutenant or can he be a commander of some sort? And I said, Luke, dude, it's your costume. And he said, but is it going to stick to the lore? Is it going to be canon? And I said, it's a fucking game. At this point, we make our own shit up. But no, in all seriousness, as long as it looks like a fire warrior and has, all the appropriate bits and pieces, the backstory can be written for it.
Well, it is going to be a little bit of a mixture of two things. They recently in the 8th edition. Okay, first of all, spoiler: I do not play the miniatures. I have never played it.
Same.
Yep. However, I do try and research the lore a little bit when I'm making any costume. The reason the Necromancer was so fond to me is because I played it a lot, so that's why I did it.
Hmm.
But the Fire Warrior is a composite build. I hate building from one form of reference because you never get the back, or it's too low detail. So I've taken a reference from, I've got the actual, because I keep it up in front of me because I'm crazy, I actually have printed out the concept art which I'm using as my base.
Ah, okay, so you're modifying the concept art to suit your current build.
Yes. Now this is from
Nice.
the early generation, so weird shaped shoulder, lots of extra details like ornamental pieces and chunkier parts, and I think that looks kind of cool. So I'm giving myself a little bit more freedom.
Well, I mean, come on. The tower not necessarily the Lego version of 40K.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, they're put across as that, but they're not necessarily that. I mean, they've got to have equivalent class, style, and finesse about their armor
Mm,
as the rest of them. I mean, everyone else gets, even the orcs get cool armor and cool bits.
yeah, because
So,
what but the great thing is in the 8th edition codex, they introduced a new form of Fire Warrior as a HQ choice called the Cadra Fireblade.
actually, that's exactly what Luke Shroud just said on the chat. What about the Cadra Fireblade?
Now, I have a picture of a Cadra Fireblade. It's on the computer that's behind this
Hmm.
device. And they were released in the 8th edition as effectively a Shas Nel is the actual particular title. A Fire Warrior who's decided, because the way Fire Warriors get, there's a weird way of progression in the Warhammer 40k universe. Sum it up, if you live long enough and you pass the trial, you get promoted.
Hmm.
Everyone gets access to it. It's not just oh, we like you, up you go. And as they go up, they get access to better tech. In this case, a Fire Warrior commander, the highest rank, can then go to a battle suit.
So you're one step before the battlesuit.
No, Chasnel are the guys who decided to stay on the front line and not take a battle suit.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, the Cadre Fireblades basically wanted to stay with their troops, with their men on the front line.
So Jonah Tex X just said they're the Blue Man Group of 40K, aka Space Smurfs.
And you know what? Last time I checked, the blue Space Smurfs in Avatar kicked the living shit out of the humans, so I'm just going to go with that analogy.
Yeah, we'll go with Avatar on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oi, oi, oi. So, Rory says, I think first Warhammer game I ever saw was Fire Warrior. Oh my god, Rory, we love you to death, but I actually played a little bit of Fire Warrior on an
I played
emulator.
2 minutes of it and stopped.
Yeah, on an emulator. I kind of like just never want to touch it again. But I was actually playing some other Warhammer games, yesterday and today, and well, actually no, not today. Yesterday it was.
I played Dawn
Um,
of War. Dawn of War was good.
Well, yeah, I've actually got Dawn of War Retribution or Dawn of War 2 Retribution.
Dawn of War 1.
Well, I've got all of the Dawn of War 1 series. It came in a big pack.
Yeah,
So I didn't have to buy it individually and separately.
yeah.
I'm just waiting for Dawn of War 3 to do the same sort of thing. Now, even though everyone turns their nose up at Dawn of War 3, it is still it's still 40k. It's still the stuff. It's still the thing. Just because the gameplay's not exactly the same as the previous one, meh, I don't care.
Mm,
So give me VR 40k. Seriously, give me an Oculus Quest.
mm, that'd be fun.
Something like Space Hulk Deathwing.
Mm. But returning to the boring stuff about my cannon,
Mm.
yeah, so he decides to not have a battle suit. So basically, he's on the front line and he's still helping his troops. He's technically a commander, but he doesn't want to run in one of those janky suits.
Yeah, he doesn't want the janky suit look, and he doesn't want the you're just a lieutenant. So he's actually a commander. He's actually stepped up. He's stuck around. He's now a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to take a battle suit because that's for pussies. And
Pretty much.
yeah, well, that's
The
that's
great
it.
thing is, according to law, they are one of the highest respected soldiers in the entire Tau Fire cast because they decided to be on the front line even after they don't need to be.
There you go. So you've got yourself, without even having to try, you've got yourself a named slash unnamed
Yeah, I've got
character.
a reason for the character to have extra things on it
Exactly.
because my the reference art which you've got up there and the Cadre Fireblade figure, which is this tall, which I have actually gone into Games Workshop or Warhammer as they call them now,
Mm,
and I nearly bought one. I was tempted to buy one as a I'm going to have one, but
you
that
have
was
one.
money. No, no, that was money, and it's also this tall, and I'm like, yeah, but I want to be this tall.
That tall, and you can't get the
Yep.
detail off their miniatures. It's too. It's
No, that's
yeah.
it's like me, Terry. It's turn it up to 11 on the detail.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So Luke and I actually did um what did we do? It was um a thing. What was the thing
Mm.
we did?
We did a talk about lasering.
Yes, we did a talk about lasering. So we did a panel at Oz Comic Con last year, lasers in cosplay, and Rory joined us. Rory, who's actually on the feed right now. It was myself, Luke, and Rory. We got up and we talked about using lasers in cosplay and the fact that it wasn't actually fucking cheating.
And
Um,
it's also surprisingly easy and cheap if you know how to do it.
it's surprisingly easy and cheap, and at the same time, some of the actual pre-work you've got to do before you start cutting or
Mm.
etching is significantly more than what you would actually do if you were doing it by hand. But the
Hmm.
but the outcome is cleaner and neater, so that's why we went down that road.
Hmm.
So you can get the precise details and all the rest of it. So that's where we are. Luke and I have pioneered the way forward. Rory's come along with us as well, and
He's joined the ride.
he's
It's been
joined
a
the
hell of a
ride.
ride.
It's been a hell of a ride. Oh my god, it's been a hell of a ride. So, but we're always trying out new things. We're always trying out new materials, new techniques,
Mm.
new settings and bits and pieces, and we share all this information with whoever wants to know about it.
Yeah, because these
So
aren't trade secrets because we
no,
don't want them to be secrets. The
but
more
if
people
you
have access to this better tech, the more cool stuff we can make.
and the more cool stuff everybody can make, and the more great costumes we see out there.
Hmm.
This is like, some of the gluing techniques and stuff that I've come up with. Rory says he still has the shirt. So I made up a couple of, yeah, lasers in cosplay t-shirts for us.
I know where my shirt is right now.
Mine's upstairs in the cupboard.
I could go get it. It would take me a minute, but
No, it's fine. It's fine. We actually have shirts. We have celebratory shirts that I made up specifically because it was the first panel we'd ever done together. So we had to have shirts to commemorate
and
it.
and on the back it says laser cutting is not cheating.
Mm. Okay, so we got a question from
Mm.
I'll say Jay. When am I going to do a tech priest? When hell freezes over. No, just kidding. I'll, I'll probably do a tech priest so that I can not have to be in my big guys and I can wander around in a normal cosplay. Tech priest is what I consider a normal cosplay.
Normal. What is this normal word you're going on about?
It's not 10 foot tall. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
So,
So,
Charmaine says, "Thank you for answering my question on lasering and costuming. This has been a big question for me." So, Charmaine, yes, look, lasering and costuming, it's not cheating, it's not anything like that. And, we're developing new techniques all the time. Luke has actually been able to laser etch material, as in cloth.
mm, I don't think I've
Okay,
got that here.
he doesn't have that here, but there are images available in bits and pieces where he has used his diode laser, which is the cheap version of a laser, to change or to discolor the dye in the material, and thus, pretty much burning in a pattern directly into the material without weakening the material.
Mm.
So, and don't think that he just magically went, I'm just going to do this. It was weeks of testing and trialing and bits and pieces, and Luke and I going back and forward on, on concepts and ideas. And I'm saying, look, slow it down, speed it up, do this, do that. Luke's coming back going, well, I did that, and I tried this other thing, and then finally,
Yeah. And
we sort of,
then the image etching, which actually getting an image into it, not just a picture, like a
yeah,
full
an
on, that
actual
that
image.
that was a fluke. It just pressed a button, did a setting, and it worked. And well, it was
But
surprising.
But the thing is, if any of you guys out there want to buy a diode laser and get into this sort of stuff and start cutting foam and etching into materials and bits and pieces and cutting materials, don't hesitate to hit us up. We're more than happy to give you whatever information we have come across because we're still learning. We're all still
Hmm.
learning.
Well, yeah,
So
I know I've made some mistakes recently with my laser, and oh, wasted material, but that's my fault.
So, I mean, I've done leather. I mean, I've done leather wallets and bits and pieces. So, actually,
Mm.
let's see if I. So there's my leather wallet. I don't know if you can actually. Oh, there we go. I'll shine it back and
Mm.
forward. You can see I've actually etched the leather wallet up with the you know in the grim darkness there is only war. Now I have worn the crap out of this wallet. It goes in and out of my back pocket continuously, and that hasn't sort of messed up. So I'm pretty happy with the etch on that.
Mm.
Um, so does it stink like all hell? Yes, it does.
Oh yeah.
When
I have a description. It smells like 3-month-old burnt bacon. That is what it smells like. It is not fun.
Depends on what color you're doing. I did red and it smelled kind of like 3-month-old burnt bacon and vomit. It was
I did
oh.
a dark blue, and it was just like, you know what? I was hoping for beef jerky, and all I got was jerk.
So okay, show us some more bits.
Mm.
Show us your bits, Luke.
Hey, 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 hey. This isn't a Patreon. Come on. Okay, so conveniently, I did put everything next to me.
Conveniently, he did, except for the neck. So here's his helmet. Okay, this thing is absolutely choice. Now let's see if I can actually bring this up on the main desktop. There we go. So you guys can actually see some of the detail now in there. It is incredibly detailed, like hex patterns, writing, screws, and screw heads, etc. There is some
This is my
serious
favorite side.
shit. Okay, favorite side, he's got, oh my God, there's scripting all the way around everything.
Oh, and that it looks like a switch.
But is it a Switch?
No, it's just a phone.
Yeah. So, well, we have a phone Switch, and 40k wallets for the standard Imperial Guardsman. Yeah, Jonah, 40. That's it. So anyway, getting back to Luke's helmet, it is just amazing. Now you do have some text on the bottom of it somewhere, which
Yeah, I
says
do have.
something.
I have text written all over it just because I want to. Like,
So do tell us what some of that translates to.
okay.
Har har har.
Some of it's silly, but my favorite one of all is this one here. You haven't seen this one, Terry. It actually says pew pew
Pew pew. Oh my
because
God, I love it.
that's all the Tau do.
Yep.
Um, because I'm a very mature person. I have put down I like boobs because that's there.
So yep. Okay, there we go. I like boobs in towel.
Yep, why not? Because being mature is overrated. But most of the other text actually makes sense, like power reactor, power control, sensor activation. It's there to be somewhat real, but if anyone really wants to start going, wait a second, why does it say pew pew? I'm gonna be like, You have said that.
So okay, that head hole looks way too small for your head.
Yep,
Why?
because it's got
Really small
magnet.
for your head. How do you get it on?
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's
yeah,
magnets.
and it's great. It's about a bazillion magnets, and they're all the self-aligning custom ones I made.
So there we
So they're
go.
all
So we got self-aligning custom magnet guides.
yeah. Makes clunking sounds. It sounds really cool.
It makes clunking sounds when it goes together and wraps over his head really, really well. So, guys, if you do want that sort of a thing, just hit Luke up. He'd be more than happy to share his magnet bits and 3D print designs for that sort of stuff. I'm pretty sure. So it does go on rather well, and the back clicks on, and he is set. Yes, Jonas says the tower got ancient television transmissions from Terra. Yeah, these ones exactly from this stream, and now they're building this armor.
That's okay. I'll put my antenna on.
Are you gonna plug your antenna on? Oh God, he's gonna plug the antenna on as well.
I gotta remember how to put this damn thing in without seeing. There it is.
So there we go. One incredibly gorgeous Tau Fire Warrior helmet. Needs a little cleaning up on the top as usual, but
Oh yeah, because that's got to be smoothed out.
yeah, everything's got to be smoothed out.
I haven't even 3D printed the front interface, the optical array yet. But
Exactly. So, but that's okay. I mean, it is, in essence, it is a beautiful piece of art. And by the time you're done with it, if I know you, it's going to be amazing. I mean,
I,
just
I
jaw-dropping.
wanted the shape. The shape was the key. They got a very distinctive form.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you've nailed it. So you've absolutely nailed it perfectly. All right, readjust yourself. There you go.
Now I can see again.
So Jay wants to know how you see out of it once you put the.
The great thing is, I'll just come back to this. The optical array is going to be a 3D printed shell that's going to sit in there, but it's going to have the mount holes for the two eyes, and it's going to be open space at the back, so it's going to be just mesh.
So you're gonna have about 40% visibility.
The visibility is better than the Necromancer, so I'll take that.
Okay, good point. Good point.
And I was going to put a fan down the bottom to pull some air out, and then I'll be fine.
Sweet. All
So,
right, I've got plenty of
so
those 40 mil fans if you need them too.
yeah. And the great thing about the Fire Warrior is all of this space is all for batteries.
All for
Because
batteries.
the battery pack will sit nice and comfortably there, and all the cable channeling just runs around the side where all this extra space is.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
So I don't have to worry about any wiring issues putting it on.
So Jonah wants to know, did you have someone measure your head to fit that?
Um, no, because I have a second one out there that didn't fit my head.
So Luke didn't decide to use something like Armor Smith, where you can get the perfect size.
Armor
Hint,
Smith does
hint.
not make a, excuse me, Armor Smith does not work on my head size. Thank you very much.
It does work on your head size.
No, it does not.
Really?
No.
All right, so we're gonna have to speak to Randy about that tomorrow and find out if we.
Okay. Most people have the head sizes. Okay, I had to get all my helmets from the 501st Legion custom made because of my head size.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Armor Smith Designer, the
Yeah,
app.
but the problem with that is I didn't have a file to make that.
Oh, good point. You actually didn't have the PEP file or anything. You just made that up from scratch.
I had a PET file and it's way old and it was never converted to phone standards. So all I did is I just manually converted it.
Right. Okay. All right.
And
Cool.
scaling, I just took a risk, made it slightly too small, made it again. Yay.
Okay. Jay says, how do you how are you going to do the legs? Do you have a bent?
He's probably meaning a bent feet. The fact
A
that they got that
bent.
extra.
Yeah, the bent feet.
I'm actually thinking about doing a really sneaky way of putting my feet further in the front and actually building the legs up to because Fire Warriors are meant to be kind of chunky. So I might be able to build it up and make it look less human. So I might get around that problem.
Oh, okay, so you're sort of going to put your legs down the inside of, more built out of the knee and more built out of the heel type
Yeah,
thing.
it's basically my leg's going to be straight, but it's going to look like it's going to go that weird leg shape.
Yeah. So Luke asked the same question. Do you plan on doing the feet hoof or normal feet, and
I'm doing proper hoof feet with the extra bit that kicks out the back, and I'm going to try and properly put the detail on those. I
okay.
want them to look really, proper.
So you're not going to do digigrade stilts or anything like that?
Nope. Because I
All right.
want full movement. I'm going for
Yeah.
military style spec movement here.
Okay. All right.
I want to be able to run.
I am going to be anticipating this build it's, and probably working on the design with you as well, as
Mm,
usual.
mm.
So Luke helps me out with my designs. I help him out with his designs, and between all of us, we, and we have several others in our little circle as well. Um, it's half the time you can't come up with the way to do things on your own. You do need a hand occasionally, and you need to bounce ideas off some people. So it's not uncommon for either of us to just jump on and say, hey, I got a problem with this. I've got no idea how to go about it. Um, I'm just trying to figure out how to actually get it all done.
Yeah.
So
There is no stupid question unless you really have a stupid question.
true. So Charmaine comes in. Charmaine's got a question. Name of character, please, so I can Google it and see what it looks like. Charmaine,
Um,
it is a Tau Fire Warrior. So Tau Fire Warrior.
yeah, it's going to be a mixture of a few different things. So it's not going to be one just straight reference.
But yeah, as usual, that's the base reference. But then there's going to be some additions. So Rory says this is going to be unbelievable. Yes, Rory, this is going to be unbelievable. I mean, as always, Luke is only bettering himself on every build, and I have to play catch up.
No, you don't. You just go bigger.
Go big or go home. Booyah.
I, I, I've done a big build, and I'm not doing another one that big again.
Yeah, actually, you've got a Bastion floating around from Overwatch.
Not anymore. He's long gone.
Oh, where did he go?
He went to a new home. I gave him away.
You gave away a Bastion,
Hmm.
and you didn't tell me you gave away a Bastion.
I gave him away like last year.
Ugh, I would have probably taken him. He
Now
was
he's
awesome.
currently in New South Wales at a huge Bastion fan's house. So he's exactly
Okay,
where he belongs.
no, he's exactly where he needs to be. So, so
I legit will just give my costumes away because I don't want them anymore, unless someone wants to buy them.
Well, it's kind of like that. I mean, I'm starting to gather a treasure trove of costumes and stuff, and at the end of the day, if somebody wants to buy them, great. But other than that, I might run out of room. Oh, there's your Tau
Mm.
Fire Warrior knife,
Yep, the bonding blade,
the bonding blade.
which is slowly getting sanded.
So what's that? I mean, that made a hell of a noise coming out of there. What's it made of?
It's all 3D printed.
Okay, cool.
Industrial ABS.
Ah, yep. So it stays together
Because,
nicely.
well, no, actually, it's actually bloody durable.
Ah, yep.
Like when I sharpened that, I actually was able to cut paper, and I actually did a nick in my finger, which you can still see somewhat just about there. I cut my finger with my 3D printed. Yeah.
So Jay's just come in and said, when are you going to do Guardsman 2 with the Terminator armor and the Tau Fire Warrior?
Well, there's a problem. The Tau and the Space Marines, they did fight, but not very often.
No, they didn't. But yeah, Jay, you're gonna have to tune in tomorrow, dude, because we've got um, a really special guest coming on at stupid o'clock in the morning, and
You have to get up early.
I have to get up early, so it'll be 1 p.m. California time. So whatever that is where you are, I think that's 2 or 3 or something like that in the afternoon. I've got Bowman Modine coming on, who was the producer of Guardsman, and also currently the director of Angels of Death out of GW, and several other projects that are going on. He's going to have a bit of a chat with us. He's going to, and we're going to do this. And one thing we're going to talk about is because I've been hassling the shit out of him about Guardsman the series or Guardsman the movie. So you're going to get a little 411 on what's happening with that, cross fingers. If we, at least a taste of something going on. Yes, that's pretty as fuck, Luke. I love it. The detail on that is
Mm.
just psychotic. Take it back a little bit, back a little bit. There we go. Camera's not focusing on the actual fine detail.
I'll
So
bring the
yeah,
lighter out.
that is just gorgeous.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't look as good when I paint it.
well, exactly. I mean, you're gonna have to use some pretty thin paints, otherwise you'll fill in all the gaps.
Oh, the Necromancer, all the gaps came up, but it's just got to use a good thin paint. Yeah.
Yeah. So as all model painters will tell you, water down your paints. Water
No,
down your
I
paints.
don't water down my paint. I
Thin
just
your
go on.
paints. Thin your paints.
I do what I want, Terry.
So Luke Shroud asks, what weapons are you going to use?
Uh, I'm definitely torn at the moment. As I said, I got the bonding knife, which I've got here.
Mm, yep.
So I've got. This is
As
going to be
in, what
mounted in.
what's going to be your main weapon?
I'm torn between the carbine and the rifle with the Markalite attachment because the Fireblade has the big rifle with the big ass scope on it, while the reference shot I got here has got the shorter carbine, which is a bit easier to handle.
Hmm.
So I'm torn. The pulse rifle is iconic because it is so big,
Yep.
but the carbine is just like more like it's suiting the concept which I'm going for because it's more, close quarters, small spaces. You don't want to reel around a rifle that's 1.2 meters long in a tight space.
Yeah, true, true.
A carbine, even though it's going to have slightly less powers for a tower weapon, all the tower weapons are like 300% more powerful than all the other Space Marine weapons. So it's just like, oh no, I'm 275% more powerful. Still bang.
So Jay's just asked, what's the name of the laser printer you use? Don't you mean laser cutter? Okay, the laser cutter that we actually use isn't a specific name. It's called a diode laser. You can buy the suckers out of China for cheap as. Right now you can't buy much out of China, but
Or, or,
um,
or have a very, very tech savvy father who built yours
or
with
you
your
can
help.
build them yourself. So there are kits available. I mean, I did a DIY kit with my first one, and but now obviously I've gone through several different diode lasers, but now I've moved up to what's called a CO2 laser, which is a different type of
Mm,
laser, works differently, cuts different materials, etches different materials, um, but far more expensive.
yeah.
So a CO2 laser will actually set you back 4 or 5 times what a diode laser does.
If you want to buy a
So
good CO2 laser in Australia is about 2,600. That's a good one.
yeah, a good one is about 2,600 or about 1,500 to 1,800 US for a really good one. Outside of that, yeah, look, but the learning curve on all of these things is just frightening. So, I finally got the handle after about 6 months on my CO2, and I learned pretty quick. So I got a lot of toys that I pound through pretty fast. But yeah, to be honest, it was really, really difficult to wrap my head around, all the ins and outs of how to do it, how to service it, how to keep it functioning, how to work, how to tune it properly, what would go wrong, how it would go wrong, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's
So
not an easy experience, but
no.
you pick it up.
So one of the things that I do stress to any of you that are looking at making large amounts of costumes, because a laser is all about not just accuracy and cleanliness, it's about repeating it over and over and over. So, if you want to make, 10 Space Marine costumes,
Hmm.
um, my advice is do not laser cut the pieces. Use a diode laser with a really, really big footprint to draw the pattern on the foam and then cut it out. Because something both Luke and I and Rory and everybody else has come up with and figured out is that the laser melts the edge of the foam and seals it so the glue doesn't stick properly because the foam leaks a little bit of oil and causes it not to stick well. So you either have to sit there and sand that crap down, which is going to take you just as long as printing it out on paper and drawing it out and cutting it out with a blade, or
Or
consequently, you can turn your power down and your speed up and use the laser as a pen to draw a very accurate, clean line.
do I have an example of that? Let me
I've
think.
thrown a few examples up there in the past, so on several of my videos and
Oh,
bits and pieces. But I still use a good old-fashioned blade to cut it all out. So a CO2 upwards of 200 watt will work on metal. A 50 watt CO2 laser or a 40 watt CO2 laser will etch metal, but it won't cut it.
Yeah, you don't want to go
So
any higher than 60, to be brutally honest, for a home
um,
user.
I've got a 50 watt CO2, and I can cut 10 millimeter plywood. I can cut 10 millimeter perspex, so clear perspex. So the key element is that a diode laser will not cut things that are clear because it's a light beam.
Hmm. Iron
Whereas a
tends to be
CO2
lightweight.
laser is a gas beam. So it's
Oh,
a pulse modulated gas beam.
it's serious power.
It's serious power. So it will cut clear things, and it will cut them very, very, very nicely. So the next step up is something that I'm dreaming about every day of my life: a
Hmm.
fiber laser.
Mm. Is that is that the one that helps you keep regular in the morning?
No, that's not the one that helps me keep regular in the morning. It is an amazing piece of equipment that can carve through stainless steel like it's butter. It can etch like on practically every surface. But unfortunately, these things they start around about $8,000 for a half decent one, and so it's well out of most hobbyists' level. Yeah, we cry.
Yeah, but as a hobbyist, making do with what you got is what you do.
So exactly. So yeah, Charmaine, to let you know that a CO2 will only etch on metal. It won't cut it, no matter how much you try. Now I do have. Do I have it actually in my little thing in front of me here? I've got to dig around a bit. Eeny, meeny, miny. Oh, there it is. So I picked up some really cool stainless steel dog tags, and I'm just going to put it up on the camera here. So this is what happens when you do 3 passes with a CO2 laser.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
a fair bit of power to do that.
that's a lot of power to just now. That's not etched, just that's just discolored. All right. Now
That's more like
I thought I
that's
almost
more.
destroyed my tube doing it because I thought it was going to reflect back up, and cause issues. But luckily it didn't. But needless to say, you can do some pretty cool stuff with a CO2 laser, but it is not the be all end all by far.
Like we're the polar opposites now. Like I have a CO2 laser here. I also have a diode, two diode lasers. I mostly use the diode because it's my sort of style. I don't need power. I want accuracy and really fine detail.
And clarity and all the rest. So I can get clarity and detail with the CO2, but it is again it's significantly more expensive to get the same
Hmm.
effect.
Yeah, because you're paying for the tube life when I'm paying for a diode.
Yeah,
Like, oh, cool, I need to replace my head. $60. That'll last 15,000 hours. You, that's going to last 600 hours and it costs $600. It's effectively $1 an hour. So
so
it's cost versus, cost. You got to look at the cost benefit versus the usage benefit, which is why laser cutting is somewhat expensive in some places because of the amount of power that's needed. The tubes do not have an infinite life; they will die.
no, they will die, and at the moment I think mine is getting to the point where it's close to the end of its life. Um, so at some point I'm going to need to replace it, which really sucks.
Especially right now, it's hard to get anything. But there is a laser tube guy at Redcliffe who's pretty good, Terry. So if you want to go local,
Okay, I'll probably end up going local because some of the tubes out of China you can't really necessarily trust for quality. And it does matter. I mean, there's mirror qualities. Look, I mean, this is we'll not go into a laser conversation right now because we could end up being here for hours.
yeah, we love our lasers way too much.
So we've had a couple extra people join us. Hi, Odd, how you doing, buddy?
Hey,
Um,
Odd's here.
Odd's here. He said good morning, so he's just got out of bed.
That's a spirit.
That's a
I do have
spirit.
something else I can show off, Terry.
Show
The chess
toys.
piece.
Oh, sweet. All right, go get the chess piece.
It's right here. Ah,
Ah,
I just dropped the shoulders off, but okay. Ah. I've been experimenting with the chest and back rig for the Fire Warrior because it's based on the concept, not the in-game.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind of a weird. Like I love the back. That back sort of arch is going to be amazing because that's where the backpack sits.
You're right. Okay, you got a backpack sitting in there. Yep.
Yeah, there'll be a quite a substantially large backpack and a big antenna coming out the back here. But these things here are going to be a nice little surprise for my costume because I'm adding
Yeah.
something that other Fire Warriors don't have. But
What?
my favorite
Real
bit is
guns?
no.
Sorry.
Oh, oh! I will put my bonding blade with the sun don't shine in a second here, Space
All
I will
right.
sharpen that to cut foam and just foam. I will
Hey,
get one shot and it'll be
yeah.
right where you don't want it.
Okay. Well, keep going. Keep going.
Okay, because I'm thinking about adding little jet thrusters, so it's like a little mini version of the Fire Warrior suits, having little jet thrusters to allow him to be a bit more maneuverable in the battlefield. Just to
Okay,
jump, not
like
fly.
pulse thrusters.
Yeah, just to be able to jump and clear things, because apparently the reason that most of the Tau Fire Warrior battle suits have jump packs is not to fly, is to go over difficult terrain, which normal soldiers can't do.
Okay.
So I'm like, I've got the room, this guy's chunky, and there's a massive amount of space, I thought, I'll add it. But my favorite bit is, as always, I love magnets. So, yeah.
Nice. All right.
So,
Oh god, there's a squeeze on.
it always is.
Gotta love how that clacks together.
I've got, considering there's 16 magnets doing this, 8 on each side, and they're in my custom self-aligning pockets.
Nice.
So yeah, that's the main reason I like these things because they're on the concept art, which I can pull apart here and show people again. So the concept, as you can see, he has these massive ridges up the side of his chest.
Oh yeah. I see those.
Yeah, this is the only reference in any of the Fire Warrior artwork to anything like this. So I like, cool, I like that. I'm going to make that.
Okay.
Because I look at it and go, cool, he's a frontline combat dude. The Tau Fire Warrior armor's pretty terrible when it comes to protection because they've got this massive dome of armor on the top of their head and the sides are like, yep, cool, big exposed sides of their head. With this on,
Yeah, you've got the sides of the head covered quite well.
well, yeah, if I put the head on, it actually sits really nicely. I can't be bothered putting the full arrangement on, but it just,
No, that actually looks really good. I mean, that's effective.
yeah, it just gives it something that looks a bit different.
Mm.
And if I want to really dial it up to make it look more Tau,
And there's your shoulder. Yep. No, that is just gorgeous. I mean, by the time that costume's done, it will be seriously just beautiful.
it's meant to be something different. Now I'm going to take this damn thing off. And yes, magnets, my favorite thing on the planet. I'm just going to leave this chest piece on. It's quite
It's all
comfortable.
done with magnets.
Yeah, so I've got heaps of room. Thing goes over the. I'm going to put some panels under there, and the beginning of my little shoulder panels, which are going to sit underneath it.
Yeah, you're gonna put a bigger shoulder on that side or just that one?
Um, According to Tau, battle suits, the Fire Warriors only ever have one big shoulder, and they have a small one on the other side because this is the side where their gun has to be mounted to.
Yep.
Like they sort of rifle stock it. If the big shoulder's on that side, they really can't put it up to their shoulder properly.
So Jay asked what about the undersuit? And I know that's an issue.
Oh, for me, it's just going to be a military flight suit, just modified.
Okay.
Keep it
So
simple.
sweet.
Not much of it's going to be seen, to be brutally honest. It's going to be covered in really cool panels and lots of extra details.
Oh. So all right,
I just
guys. It's we've got a bunch more people that just popped in. We're having a bit of a chat with Luke from Zerebin Cosplay in regards to his new costume, which is
Just
a
dancing.
Tau Fire Warrior and modified Fire Warrior,
A,
and
a, a real world version as best I
a
can.
real world version as best as he can do. And so hopefully in the next few months we're going to see some great progress out of this
Well, it's
costume.
not like we could do anything else at the moment.
Yeah, we're kind of like locked down, so it's let's build shit.
Yeah. So there's going to be a big cow symbol right here
Oh god, it's going to be like a
because,
target.
well, big cow symbol.
Yeah, good point, good point.
I am half tempted to put LEDs behind it just to be all like, screw you, I'm Iron Man Tao. But
Oh, do it. Oh god, do it.
because he's going to
Seriously.
have the eyes glowing as well, so I think a couple of extra because there's green. Because I haven't actually added any of the ray surface detail, but there's actually meant to be some lights in this area here and
Okay.
just little tiny effects because I'm making this look a bit more different. And then
Oh.
I'm going to have big chunks. And the great thing about Tau Fire Warriors is they don't have any armor on their upper arms, none whatsoever.
You're going to
Nothing
have to
on
put
their
something there.
nothing on their biceps. None of them carry it ever.
Okay, no, sorry, on the upper arms, no, but on the forearms, you
Oh,
definitely
they've
have
got
to
these
put.
chunky. This particular one's got really chunky forearms. I think about putting an old phone in there so I can actually have like a data pad that I can touch and use.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep.
And the gloves are going to be the fun one because I've got to make myself have 3 fingers. And there's two options. It was this or get a or modify a glove to give me chunky fingers.
Now, you just put up a blade to your fingers. Were you going to cut your fingers off?
No.
So you're like,
I got
this?
I got scissors as well.
Okay.
And if all else fails and that doesn't work, I'll just pull them off. I've got pliers. I won't feel it anyway.
So, all right. Anyway, on that note, we've
That
been
was
going
that was
for
a
nearly an.
darker and weird time.
It was a dark or weird time. So we've been going for nearly an hour so far. Is there anything you want to show us before we end the stream and say good night to everybody?
Yeah, not really. I'm just tinkering away and learning in here. I said, I'm actually really not happy 100% with this so far. I'm thinking I might scrap it and start again.
No, it's looking pretty good so far. I'd keep the general shape and work with it. Oh, that was loud on the mic.
Sorry, Gary.
Oh,
Putting custom stuff on is hard.
all right, there we go. We're back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Cathartic plug.
I wouldn't scrap it. I'd probably stick with it and just play with it for a while.
Hmm.
As you know, we all have prototypes floating around. We all have,
Oh, yeah.
2 and 3 and 4 different
I have
versions of
prototypes
things.
floating around.
Yep.
Hmm.
So Jonah says might want to keep the fingers. Yes, you might want to keep the fingers.
God, anime headpieces are weird.
Yeah, no, that looks something that comes out of Pokemon.
No. You're close, but no.
All right. Anyway, guys, it's been fantastic. Luke, thank you so much for joining us on the stream.
Well, it's not like we
And
can do much.
it's
So,
not like we can do much, and we're going to be. Luke will probably join us also on the Sunday afternoon drinking stream, which happens at 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon Queensland time, where a bunch of us get on
amazing.
Google Hangouts and we drink ourselves stupid. Well, Luke doesn't because he doesn't really drink, but he just watches us go a little bit psycho.
I'm legit here cutting and building foam while you guys are this there going, ah, and I'm there going, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, oh,
I don't.
no, we just plastered. It's all good. So
Well, you
anyway,
guys are
guys,
plastered. I'm doing stuff.
it has been fantastic. Luke, thank you so much for coming onto the stream
Yeah,
and having a
I'll be
bit of a
back.
chat with us, showing your toys.
Oh,
And
there's a lot more to show off, but not today.
there's not a lot more. Next week we'll do another one with Luke, and Luke can show us off the rest of the toys. So on that note, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for being part of the stream. And Luke, again, thank you so much for being on the stream. Now, guys, one thing I want to do is be able to tell you, subscribe to my YouTube, please do. I'm trying to get my numbers up.
There's a like button. It's about here.
There's a like button down sort of over here. I don't know where it is.
And then there's a
Um,
bell you have to press over here.
so click the bell on so that you know when we're going live. because in order for Facebook to, oh sorry, for YouTube to give me the next level up and all that sort of stuff, I need like 4,000 hours of viewing, and I'm like sitting at none. No, just kidding. Anyway, point is, yeah, subscribe, jump on Facebook, check out all the bits and pieces. So Luke, his Facebook page is Zerebin Cosplay. So Zerebin Cosplay. Go and have a look. Go and check it out, and see what you think. Because he's got some pretty awesome stuff up there, and I'm going to force him to put some more pictures up there. So, all right, guys. On that note, thank you very much for watching today, and we will see you in the morning.
Oh God, yeah, have fun with that.